Red wine dripped from my hair onto my shirt. My mother stood over me, empty glass shaking in her hand. My father's face was purple with rage. "You will pay your brother's debt or you are not our child anymore." I looked at Ethan. He sat across the table smirking. "Not a drop on him. I'm not paying $250,000 for his mistakes." My mother threw the glass. It shattered against the wall behind me. "Get out. Get out of this house and don't come back." I stood, wine soaked through to my skin. I grabbed my keys and left. How did my own parents choose a $250,000 lie over me? Because I had proof. Every single receipt, every document, every dirty secret Ethan thought he'd buried. And I was about to show them all. But first, drop your time zone below. Let's see who's up late for this one. And hit subscribe, because you're going to want to see how I made them regret it. To understand how it got that bad, you need to see where it started. I was always the responsible one. I put myself through college working 2 jobs. Nights at a call center, weekends doing freelance code. I graduated with a degree in software engineering and 0 debt. Ethan? He partied on my parents' dime for 6 years and dropped out junior year. By the time I was 28, I had a 6-figure salary and a paid-off condo. Ethan was 31 with 3 failed startups and a credit score in the 400s. My parents called me stable. They called Ethan a visionary. "Ethan has big ideas," my mom would say. "He just needs support." I learned early to document everything. When I was 22, Ethan borrowed my car. He said he needed it for a job interview. 3 days later, the police called. My car was totaled. Ethan had been street racing. He told my parents I'd given him permission. He said I was trying to ruin his life by reporting it. I showed them the text where he promised to return it in 2 hours. I showed them the police report with his name, not mine. They paid his fine anyway. After that, I kept records. Text threads, emails, loan agreements my parents signed over to him, everything. I didn't know that habit would save me. 3 weeks before that dinner, Ethan made a call that changed everything. Ethan's name lit up my phone on a Tuesday night. He never called me. We texted maybe twice a year. "Hey, I need to talk to you about something." His voice was soft, almost vulnerable. "I'm in trouble. Real trouble. I owe $250,000. Business loan. The creditors are threatening to sue." I sat down. "Ethan, I need you to help me. We're family." I took a breath. "I can give you $5,000 as a gift. And I can help you budget, find a payment plan." "I don't need $5,000. His voice changed, hard. "I need you to pay it. All of it." "That's not happening. You're sitting on a fortune. I'm about to lose everything." "How is your bad investment my emergency?" Silence. Then he laughed. "It wasn't friendly. Mom and Dad already agreed you'd do it. They said you owe the family. I don't owe you anything. You're selfish. They were right about you. Ethan, you'll regret this." He hung up. I stared at my phone. My hands were shaking. 2 days later, my mom called. She didn't ask. She informed me I was paying. The dinner was just a formality. The dinner was at my parents' house. Ethan was already there when I arrived. Mom hugged me. It felt stiff. Dad didn't get up. We sat down. No one touched the food. My father slid a folder across the table. "We've drafted a family loan agreement. $250,000 from you to Ethan. 0 interest. He'll pay you back when he's able." I opened it. My name was already filled in. "I'm not signing this." My mother's eyes filled with tears. "After everything we sacrificed for you. I worked for every dollar I have." Ethan gambled his away. Ethan leaned forward. "You think you're better than me." "I think I'm smarter than this." My father stood. "Sign it or leave." "Then I'm leaving." That's when my mother picked up her wine glass and threw it at me. The next morning, my bank sent a fraud alert. Someone had tried to transfer $250,000 from my savings account using an electronic authorization. The bank stopped it, but the request had come from an email address that looked exactly like mine. I thought they'd guilt me. I didn't think they'd try to steal from me. I called the bank's fraud department immediately. They sent me the request details within an hour. The email came from an address I'd never seen. firstname.lastname.backup@gmail, not my real email. Attached was a letter of authorization. It had my name typed at the bottom. And a signature. My signature, but I'd never signed it. I looked closer. The signature was copied from an old lease I'd co-signed with my parents 5 years ago. Ethan had access to that document. He'd scanned it. The bank sent me the metadata. The forged letter was created the same day as the dinner, at 11 in the morning. Dinner was at 7 that night. Ethan tried to steal the money before he even sat down at that table. The guilt trip was plan B. I saved everything. The email headers. The forged document. The timestamp logs. Then I pulled my credit report. There was a hard inquiry I'd never authorized. From a business lender. Dated 6 months ago. My stomach dropped. Ethan hadn't just tried to steal from me once. He'd been using my identity for months. And my parents knew. They had to. Why else were they so sure I owed him? I tried to call my parents. Both of them blocked my number. Then the text started. Ethan sent 15 messages in 1 hour. You humiliated Mom in her own home. Dad's blood pressure is through the roof. If he has a heart attack, it's on you. You're tearing this family apart. Then my phone started ringing. Aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't spoken to in years. Ethan had called all of them. He told them I'd promised to invest in his business. That we were partners. That I'd backed out at the last second and left him drowning. My cousin Sarah called me crying. How could you do that to him? He trusted you. Sarah, I never promised him anything. He showed us the emails. He'd faked those too. My Aunt Janet sent me a cease and desist letter. She's a paralegal. Promissory estoppel. Ethan relied on your word. You're liable. My social media filled up. Messages calling me a snake. A traitor. Someone contacted my job. They claimed to be a creditor looking for me. HR pulled me into a meeting. I had 72 hours before Ethan's creditors filed in court. And my name was about to be on that lawsuit. Ethan was burning my life down to cover his fraud. I hired an attorney that afternoon. And a forensic accountant. 48 hours later, they handed me a file. Ethan had used my name and social security number to apply for the $250,000 loan. He'd forged a co-signer agreement. He listed me as his business partner with joint liability. The loan application included fake pay stubs in my name and a fake operating agreement showing I owned half his LLC. The bank never verified. The loan funded. Ethan defaulted immediately. My attorney looked at me across the table. This isn't a family dispute. This is identity theft and fraud. I pulled my credit report again. The account was there, showing as joint debt. Delinquent. My credit score had dropped 112 points. The loan application was time-stamped 6 months before he ever called me. Ethan didn't need my help. He'd already stolen my identity. He'd destroyed my credit. He'd tied me to a debt I never agreed to. And when the bank started coming after him, he tried to make me pay it willingly. My parents were helping him cover it up. Now I knew exactly what to do. My attorney kept digging. 2 days later, she found the missing piece. My parents had refinanced their house 8 months earlier. A cash-out refinance. They'd pulled $180,000. Public records showed every dollar went to Ethan, wired directly to his failed business. Their mortgage went from $120,000 to $300,000. At 63 and 65 years old, they were 60 days delinquent. Ethan had promised them his new venture would explode. 10 times return. Enough to pay off the house and retire early. Instead, it collapsed in 4 months. My parents had mortgaged their future on his lies, and they were terrified. When Ethan's creditors started circling, he sold them a new story. I was rich, selfish. I owed the family for raising me. My parents believed him because they needed to. If I didn't pay, they'd lose their home. Ethan's motive was simple. Escape consequences, at any cost. even if it meant destroying me. Even if it meant manipulating two desperate people who'd already given him everything. He'd cannibalized the whole family, and he'd made me the villain to hide it. I sat in my attorney's office and made 3 decisions. 1. File a police report for identity theft and fraud. 2. Send a cease and desist to Ethan and every family member repeating his lies. Attach the evidence. 3. Notify the creditor bank that the loan was fraudulent. Provide forensic proof. Demand they remove me from any liability. My attorney nodded. We'll also file a motion to freeze any remaining assets in Ethan's name. And I'll schedule a mediated family meeting. Mediated? Recorded. Legal counsel present. If they want to avoid criminal charges and a civil suit, they'll show up. I looked at the stack of documents on the table. Bank records. Forged signatures. Credit reports. Property filings. I want them to hear the truth. All of it. But I'm not paying a dime. The police report was filed that afternoon. A detective was assigned. The bank opened an investigation. The cease and desist went out by certified mail. Within an hour, the family group chat went completely silent. My attorney scheduled the mediation for the following week. If they want to avoid criminal prosecution, they'll show up. I gave them 7 days. On day 6, my father finally called. The mediation was held in a conference room downtown. My parents sat on one side, Ethan next to them. 2 attorneys, a mediator at the head of the table. I sat across from them with my lawyer. No one made eye contact. The mediator opened. We're here to resolve allegations of financial fraud and identity theft. Let's begin. My attorney stood. She connected her laptop to the screen on the wall. The first image appeared. The forged bank authorization. My signature copied and pasted. Side by side with my real signature from my driver's license. My mother's hand went to her mouth. Next slide. The fraudulent loan application. My name listed as cosigner. Fake pay stubs. Fake operating agreement. My father looked at Ethan. Is this real? Ethan's jaw tightened. It's not what it looks like. Did you forge your sibling's signature? I needed the loan. I was going to pay it back. My attorney clicked again. The credit report appeared. Joint liability. Delinquent account. 112-point drop. Then the property records. My parents' refinance. $180,000 wired to Ethan. My mother started crying. The mediator gestured to the screen. Mr. Moore, do you dispute any of these documents? Ethan said nothing. My attorney played the final card. A video call connected. A representative from the creditor bank appeared on screen. We've reviewed the fraud evidence. The account holder has been cleared of all liability. We are pursuing criminal charges against the applicant for identity theft and loan fraud. My father's face went gray. I spoke for the first time. You didn't ask for help, Ethan. You committed fraud. And you tried to destroy me to hide it. The mediator slid a settlement agreement across the table. Mr. Moore, you will sign a confession. You will enter a restitution plan to repay your parents. You will have no further contact with the victim. Your parents will issue a written retraction to all family members. Ethan stared at the paper. And if I don't? My attorney answered. Then we proceed to criminal trial. Your choice. Ethan signed. So did my parents. The mediator declared it binding. I stood, took my copies, and walked out. 3 months later, Ethan's remaining business assets were liquidated. He's on a payment plan to my parents. $2,400 a month. He got a job in retail to make it work. The creditors settled for a fraction of the debt after the fraud was disclosed. Ethan's on probation. No criminal charges were filed once restitution began. My parents sent a retraction letter to the entire family. It was short, honest. We were misled. The debt was never our child's responsibility. We apologized for the harm caused. A few relatives reached out privately. My cousin Sarah sent a long apology text. My uncle called. I didn't reconcile with my parents. Not right away. But I agreed to 1 therapy session. The mediator suggested it. We sat in that room for 90 minutes. My mom cried through most of it. My dad barely spoke. Finally, he said it. We enabled him. We always have. We thought we were helping, but we were covering for him. And it almost destroyed you. My mother nodded. Ethan struggled with addiction when he was younger. We felt guilty. We overcompensated. We stopped seeing the truth. I took a breath. I'm not asking you to cut him off, but I need boundaries. No contact unless you both attend financial counseling, and you stop funding his schemes. They agreed. I still haven't moved those boundaries. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I won't. My credit was cleared within 60 days. The fraudulent account was removed. My score recovered. HR saw the legal documents. My reputation at work was restored. I didn't want revenge. I wanted the truth. And I wanted my life back. Here's what I learned. Family isn't unconditional access to your resources. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They're clarity. And when someone weaponizes guilt, the receipts are your shield. So here's my question for you. Would you have gone straight to mediation, or would you have filed criminal charges immediately? Drop your take in the comments. And if this story helped you spot financial manipulation in your own life, subscribe. I break down these patterns every week. Remember, always keep receipts. One more thing. This was a fictionalized dramatization for educational purposes. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're facing fraud or family financial abuse, consult a licensed attorney in your area. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.